What's up, guys? Welcome to another live session. Today is May 8th, 2020. It's a Friday. We're back at again for our market insight and profit recap session. And so, if you're new to our sessions, this Friday, what we do is we go over the trades we took for the week, the wins and losses, and then we go over setups for next week, start to prepare for next week. Since today, the markets are pretty much going to be done with, all the major moves are out of the way. And that is that. So before we start, I'm just going to do some admin stuff like always. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't joined the Discord, which is the place to be, I mean, you have memes and everything going on. If you want to be here, it's free to join actually. The link to sign up is in the description of this video. Sign up. We have a community discussions where you can chat about trading. We can also send in memes, and we have separate places where you can ask for TA from me or other traders. And we have a host of providers here, Institute Trader, Pixology, Elliott Wave Analysis, Major Minor Analysis, and all our certain providers. It's a place to be. Another thing is we always have a lot of stuff in the pipeline and always stuff in the works to improve our service. And so yesterday we made an announcement. We created a Traders Challenge. And this Traders Challenge is a two-part challenge. And basically, to keep it really short, you would have to grow a demo account twice. Now, for the first part, if you grow a demo account the first time to a profit target, you will earn a lifetime membership. And it's free to do this, by the way. So you can earn a free lifetime membership. All you have to do is that you can show us that you can trade, right? So grow a demo account to a certain profit target, and we'll give you a lifetime membership. You do have to be a member, so you have to be a Forex trading member to qualify. That's the only qualification. Now, if you grow a demo account a second time, you will get a live funded trading account from one of our partners. So if you're always wondering about how you would do with a bigger account, or you're just tired of trading with a $500 account or a $100 account, you can get a 25K account live, ready to trade. Just show us that you can trade, and the keys are yours. So we have details on Discord with more stuff there we can read on, and we have a full website link that takes you to the rules and guidelines that you have to follow, and it's all there. And if you're interested in joining, what you can do is message Allison on Discord. That's probably the easiest way, or email support@forexlens.com, and we'll get you started ASAP. And it's a nice way to test the waters of potentially trading a live account or a demo account where how you perform matters. Another thing is the Smart Effects Managed Account Program. So if you have been on our Discord, you've probably heard of Institute Trader, and he trades based on institutional concepts. These aren't things that are taught on on pips.com or baby pips or any sort of website like that. This is kind of stuff that's only a select few know, and he has been killing it. So we actually have a MyFX book link where you can see the growth, and although it says monthly is 4.44%, in reality it's more closer to 7 to 8, just because it considers this first week of May. But if you look at the drawdown, you rarely ever see a managed account where the gain is greater than the drawdown on a month-to-month basis, and that's how low risk it is. And when you do sign up for this MAM program, you have the ability to adjust the risk in your broker settings with ATC. So if you're risk seeking, you can always increase the risk. If you're risk averse, you can always decrease it. We give you that flexibility. And there's also a stop loss, equity stop loss feature, where if your account goes to a certain value, they'll disconnect you from the master account. So we put in a lot of safety nets, and this is the program that we're starting to accept clients for right now. So get your spot. Spots are going away very quickly, and so if you're interested, again, message Allison on Discord, or the ideal way would be to email support@forexlens.com. I think I got most of the admin stuff out of the way. If I do remember it, I'll let you guys know at the end. But let's talk about the NFP weekend. We'll talk about Euro first. So Euro, since the midweek, I kind of had a long bias with Euro, even though it kind of slipped down here. We just knew that this support that it was at, if you just look to the left, you can see dating back to April all the way through now, this support has held pretty nicely. Even though if we slip below, we always pop back above. And the longer that we float at this support at 1.08, the more chance we have of going to the upside. And that's what we're going off of, because since since May 6th and going into May 8th, we've kind of stayed at this level for some reason. And then finally, yesterday we made the initial push. We went into some drawdown. But this morning we actually shot up to the upside. So that drawdown was caused by the NFP results, which actually came out better than expected. So if you look at the NFP numbers all across the board, it's green for the dollar, which should be good. Unemployment came out at 14.7% rather than the 16% forecast, and so that's good for the dollar. So that's why we went to a bit of a slippage in the morning, but then we rocketed it up all the way up to 108.739, and so pretty nice 40-ish pip gain there. I'm still in it. Probably gonna close by end of the day. Let's see if there's any last minute surges. I already have stops to in entry, so we'll see how that goes. But pretty simple concept, and even when the technicals indicated a long, the fundamentals did a momentarily short move because of the results, but in the end, the technicals won the battle. And then GU, again, very similar setup. GU, based on the 4-hour time frame, and every chart work I do gets sent in with just simple instructions. So if you look at GU here, next 4-hour candles need to be bullish to go long, and this was the current 4-hour candle we had. If you look at the chart now, that 4-hour candle turned into a bullish hammer with a very long wick. And you know GU, I preach about it a lot. The pound pairs love their hammers, and whenever you have it off of support, you usually have a move to the upside happen. And so if you didn't enter on this candle, you had definitely this candle to enter, which was a bullish hammer again. That's the one that I entered on because I love gaming, so I'm not always in front of the charts. So I went into the same drawdown like I did with Euro, and then this thing shot up. I'm out of GU just because it can be so volatile. I got my 25 pips, and I ran with it. But a nice setup there as well. Now we started off the week with a bang. For example, pound Aussie. So we got a quick little 25 pip gain. Although this thing went all the way through. Kind of ticked we didn't get the full move, but anyways, we got this portion of the move, which is still pretty nice to be honest. But whenever we get 25 pips of profit, we always move stops to entry, and so we got stopped out at entry here. And then we were looking for, re-entry, but every single time it gave us a bearish hammer, which we don't enter on. This was a pretty good candle to enter on, but the R2R just got cut so much that it wasn't worth it unless you already entered, and it did go to our projected target, at which point it's consolidating. So, this is probably a decent spot to take longs, but we'll see next week. But again, all you need is 25 pips for 5 days a week, and that's still solid profits. 125 pips a week is nothing to scoff at, right? So another trade that was pretty nice was Euro Yen. Very simple instructions for that as well. Again, it's just based off the 4-hour time frame and it going along with the trend. So we identified the downtrend. We identified this 4-hour support here, right? You can see this 4-hour support at 115.540, and then I identified this wick, this price. For some reason, price wicked to the second area down here, so I marked it off. And basically I said on the hour time frame, if we break this level, we're going short. And very simple, you can see we got the best 4-hour closure in inverted hammer right here, below the level we wanted, and we got a simple straight sell down, just like that. So quick 80 pips just right there. Now, I'm not perfect, and I don't think any trader is perfect, so we did have a losing trade, and that was NZD USD. And maybe this was partly our fault, but we were looking for a 4-hour closure below the 4-hour support, and we did get it, but it was during the 5 p.m. market close. So usually those things are kind of spotty because the spreads start to get crazy, and a lot of weird stuff happens. But anyways, we entered that trade, and over span of a few hours, we got stopped out at 35 pips. So 35 pip loss isn't too bad. That's why I kind of wasn't too worried about the 5 p.m. closure. But nonetheless, it did go against us. What can you do? So that was that, and now at this point in the session, I'm going to go over everyone's questions, pair recommendations, and etc. So people on YouTube, I have not forgotten about you. Ideally, you want to be on our portal or on our Discord. That's the place to be to get your questions answered. So let me just say good morning to the people on the portal. And I hope everyone's well and safe during this crazy time. So let's check out some pairs that people have asked. So community discussions. So yeah, a few people caught GU and EU. This is nice. I missed AJ too. I don't treat trading like a full-time job, even though I should, but I did miss AJ. It's all good. Questions? Someone had some questions here. Someone asked for BTC. I'll give that a look. Let's go. So someone asked for a question for USDCHF. Let's give that a look. Alright, so USDCHF, let's give. Why do you want notifications? So USDCHF, yeah, this is perfect. So this is a good question. So regarding USDCHF, with the 4-hour candle that was printed yesterday at 9 p.m. be big enough to have entered a buy order, it seemed that was going to react off the previous 4-hour support. Now I'm not sure if we had a. I'm pretty sure we had a short idea for USDCHF. Let me just double check. I don't think I gave a long. I think you're asking in just particular. So let's see, 9 p.m. yesterday. 9 p.m. Is it this candle you're talking about? Because 9 p.m. yesterday, yesterday was May 7th, 9 p.m. This was a bullish hammer. Maybe this one? No. Trying to figure out which candle. This is 9 a.m. Okay, this is 5 a.m. Okay, here we go. This is the 9 p.m. candle. This is the one you're talking about, right? So the small white hammer. Is it this one? 4 back from the right. 4 back from the right. Oh, this one. I mean, see, for this, like, usually what you have to do is see what happens. So if you were, let's say you're looking at this candle right here. What you want to do is look at what happened in the past. And you can see, the reason why earlier in the week I said, if you wanted to short, someone wanted to short USDCHF, I said wait for price to like touch this blue zone. I wouldn't take it from here, and whatever it did, and it actually went down short. But what you want to see is where price came from. And if you look at the wick, it touched this resistance zone, which has been resistance here and here and even here, right? So for the past almost 6 or 7 weeks, there's been a pretty good resistance, and so I wouldn't look for buys in this case coming off resistance, printing an inverted hammer like it did here. Would probably indicate shorts, right? And even the candle before the 4-hour candle was inverted hammer. And so I'm not really one for reversal trading. I'm more of a trading with the trend type thing. So I would probably just disregard this bearish hammer, this bullish hammer. And plus, it's quite small. If there was something like this candle where you had a huge wick to the downside, then I'd respect it. But again, this isn't an uptrend, right? You can see it's a solid uptrend. Here, however, we're starting to break previous lows. We broke this low, we're starting to break this low. So that's why I'd be cautious about taking buys just because of the hammer. Because if it was as simple as seeing a hammer and buying, then everyone would be rich in Forex. It's just not that simple. But yeah, so the bias was just short because of the resistance they ran into. And overall, just looking at the price action, this was an inverted hammer. This was a nice big body candle with no wick to the bottom, so at the wick to the top. Again, another inverted hammer, so the pressure was to the downside. And yeah, this was a support on the 4-hour time frame. But when you're on a downtrend from resistance, you want to be looking for entries. So if I were you, and this is the type of entries we usually take, is when we come off resistance and we hit 4-hour support, what do we do usually? We look for a 4-hour break below the 4-hour support, right? And then we take that short. Because usually we might miss this entry right here. And so our thought process will be, okay, let's get this portion of the move down, wait for a 4-hour bearish closure. And obviously this candle right here is not a 4-hour bearish closure. So you did not send us about Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie was on Monday. It was discussed during a live session. I believe part of you joined on Tuesday. So you probably missed that. Uh, Next up, USD CAD. Okay, perfect. So USD CAD was a short idea given yesterday, and I missed it. Pretty bad, but very simple. So let's pull up the chart work for USD CAD again. USD CAD, right? So yesterday at 12 p.m. 4-hour bearish closure below 1.40 thousand equals short. We go to the chart right now. This is the level, 1.40 thousand. Now, if you look at the price action, this candle is not a bearish closure. Let's actually zoom in here. This one right here is not a bearish candle, right? Because although it is blue and it's headed downward, the wick to the bottom is longer than the wick to the top. This is a bearish hammer, right? And so I told you guys, when this happens, you either wait for confirmation on the next 4-hour candle, or the idea is scrapped. And what did the next 4-hour candle do? The next 4-hour candle was an inverted hammer. These are the candles we like to enter short on. And so if you entered short on this, and I wish I did, but this is during my gaming time. When you enter this, you had a nice downside move around 35 pips, right? Just off the simple closure, a nice 35 pip move down. We did go a bit more, but this is a support that it has used in the past, so price is stalling. So that's all you have to do, really. And early in the week we had a potential long. That's why I kept this thing here. It's always about being adaptive, right? And that's why my first take profit for Euro USD was pretty short, because we have NFP and you have to be adaptive in the market. So earlier this week we were looking for longs. We wanted a 4-hour bullish closure above. Obviously this is it's not a bullish closure right here, so we didn't have that long idea. So again, what do? We think on the spot, okay, maybe the bias is short now, let's look for shorts. You just gotta be reactive, and I said this yesterday, you want to look at what the markets are telling you and not really project what you want to see, right? And so again, all you have to do is send an alert. You look at the closure. This thing literally sends you an alert on your phone. But when you're in a pretty competitive Warzone game, you can kind of ignore it. But when you get that alert, you just pop open your chart on your phone. What type of closure is it? Okay, if it's bearish, enter based on the levels RP gave. So USD CAD, I think it's gonna rest here for now for the end of the day. I think coming into Sunday and Monday, this thing should probably come back down here. You can see the overall kind of range it's been in from here to here. And then eventually price comes back down to this support, goes back up to this resistance, comes back down to this support. So I think that's what it's going to do. And that's what was the whole premise of the idea, filling up the range. We just wanted to replicate this range right here. So whenever we broke this 1.40 thousand level, we always head down to here, right? Again, you see price do that here. Price broke 1.40 thousand. It always head down to this level. And that's all we did again. We got a bearish closure, and we went halfway to that range. We have another half to go. Maybe on Monday we can take an intraday trade back down to here. We just have to wait for 4-hour support to reach, and that is that. All right, next. Okay, now let me check the people on YouTube. Don't want to forget about them. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, FX Bro. FX Bro says USD CAD, your call was on point. Did I get it? No, I didn't. I was paying 5, for being honest. He says, should I move stops to entry or let it ride till the end of the day? I mean, I'd probably take half my profits now if you haven't already, and put stops to entry, because if you entered somewhere around here, if price does pop back above, and it's probably gonna do something chaotic and go all the way back to the upside. It's Friday. I usually am less risk seeking on Friday, so I'd probably put your stops to entry. GA, perfect. So we went over GA, but I think GA is going to give us a pretty decent long. On the 4-hour time frame. I'm pretty upset that I wasn't able to catch this full move, and we only were able to catch this small one. But if you use the principles that I teach you, then you can catch the rest of this move. Anyways, this for our support, the one we targeted, target 3 has obviously held down pretty well. And so I don't trade Sundays, but Monday I'd probably be looking for longs back to the upside. The only problem is the Aussie is gaining against the dollar, and usually when the Aussie gains against the dollar, GA goes down. But based on technicals, I would probably look for longs. But these 4 hour closures need to be better. So for example, this one's fine. It's a bullish engulfing candle. This next one is a bearish hammer, which is fine. Ideally, we wanted this candle to also be either a bullish hammer or bullish engulfing to confirm that long bias. Because whenever we have those reactions here, like this bullish engulfing, we do have huge candles to the upside. And so that is short idea is done. I'm going to remove it. And just look for maybe longs on Monday's session. Right, and the R2R is going to be pretty good because we're coming off the support. So the only breathing room you need to give it is the previous low, and that's fine. And the upside is again what we targeted when we went short. So 2.81 is pretty damn good for a pound Aussie. We're talking upwards of over 300 pips here. So that's 300 pips in one trade. That's more than ideal. But that's my bias. So let me just check out Aussie dollar because that's going to pretty much heavily influence where this goes. And Aussie dollar right now, the early parts of the week it was slipping, so that's why we had the GU move. But this morning, a lot of the pairs are gaining against the dollar, and so this thing should probably push to the upside. I do think so. And if it does, you might see GA slip a bit more. But if this thing, a lot of stuff can happen. Over the weekend, if this thing can start hitting back downwards like this, we could have GA long next week, and that'd be ideal. Speaking of GA, we had a Euro Aussie potential trade, and here we go again. So this is talking about discipline. So we wanted a 4 hour closure below 1.67800, and it had to be bearish. Now this is where discipline comes into play. And so this candle is, although it's blue, so it's bearish, it's not our definition of bearish. The reason because the wick to the top is a lot shorter than the wick to the bottom. So this is a bearish hammer, and we don't enter trades on this. So the next candle was a bullish hammer, and then ended up being a bearish hammer, and it did reach our target. So although it did do what we hypothesized it would to do, it didn't follow our strategy to a T, and that's why we didn't enter. So this is not going to the pip count. This is not a trade I would take. 1, 2, 3 hammers back to back. I would never go short, even though the idea went out. And you might think, hey, we missed out on these pips. This type of move, when it happens rarely. And discipline's going to save you 9 times out of 10. That one time, it may be a bad luck, and you may lose it, quote unquote, miss on the trade. But I'd rather win those 9 trades than get this one. So. That's the idea for Euro Aussie, but again, that 4 hour support, Euro Aussie and GA pretty much move identical. So if you're shorting one, you should short the other. If you're longing one, you should long the other. But again, the 4 hour support in and around this level has proven to be pretty good. We had right now a bearish hammer, an indecision candle, a bullish hammer. Now, if we can get a bullish engulfing candle off this support, then I'll be looking for EA longs next week as well. And then you can just compound GA and EA and make twice the amount of pips for it's pretty much the same analysis, right? So again, our stop loss will be below the previous low with some breathing room, and it's going to be a 3.5 for our 2 hour setup. So it all lies on Aussie dollar and what it does. If Aussie slips against the dollar, you should see these 2 pairs go to the upside. So Monday, I'll be looking for a bullish 4 hour reaction off this level. Ideally an engulfing or a huge hammer, and we'll take the trade. I don't trade Sundays, so just mind you, I'm not doing a setup right now, but this is something to look forward to. I don't think anything's going to change from now to Sunday anyways, but there you have it. So GA, EA. Next up, any other recommendations, let me know. Oh, Bitcoin. So I'll do Bitcoin next, since someone asked for Bitcoin. Right, so Johnny, did you go short on that trade? Hopefully my expression was pretty good, or long. BTC. And the strategy works beautiful with BTC. So Pretty amazing. So here we go. And so we'll go to weekly, and so our BTC idea now, we've been pretty successful with BTC and this trend line right here. This trend line is a simple counter trend line, and it's connecting the highs made all the way to 2017 around 20k. The few belts of 13k right here, and so we took many short opportunities from this trend line, right? And so the last time we shorted BTC, it went as far as 3,900 to 4,000, at which point it retraced back up. And so this red circle identifies the 50 fib level, right? It's the half retracement. And so I was saying, if BTC was still short, in and around this area, this 50 to 61.8 area would be a retracement area for BTC. Now, if we don't get a retracement here, we're probably going to be headed back to 10K or 10,500, and you can see we're currently on our way. We're at 10,000, right on the dot, actually 10,001, with the next target of 10,500. Now, we're currently trying our best to break out of that trend line I spoke of. If BTC does reach to 10,500, I'd be shifting my bias to long, and that long idea would simply target the next push to back up to here. So back up to 13,000. And if 13,000 gets reached, all you have to do is look to the left and see what's next in store, and that's the Godfather 20k level, right? So that's BTC right now. We did catch that early short in the start of the year, and now it's looking like this is a pretty much a breaking point, either for shorts back down or pushes back to 13k. So we'll see. If it does pop above 10,500, especially on the daily time frame, I think you can even buy some BTC or hold on to the one you have. You can see that 10,500 level provided us a short last time, and remember, for the OG members, we took a short not after the rejection, but we drew a simple trend line, a nice trend line connecting a first touch, a second touch, and a third touch. So we had rejection off the trend line, we had a break of a counter trend line, and then we shorted, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So 10,500 has been proven level once, twice, and would it be a third time? So if you look at the price action right now on the trend line itself, it has broken the trend line, and this daily candle is a bearish hammer. What that tells you is, on a smaller time frame, a bearish candle touched this, a bullish candle rejected it. And so that looks good for longs. It's a pretty decent idea to go to 10,500 right now, actually. If you go to the 1 hour, you see that actual break, or even the 4 hour, to summarize it. So the 4 hour, you can see the break, and the bearish candles came down to retest, and these bullish candles are trying to reject it, and that's why it's a bearish candle on the daily. So BTC is a long bias for me until 10,500. If you see any signs of rejection on the daily time frame, just be cautious, because it'd create a triple top. So nice recommendation. Awesome. Alright, so any other pair recommendations? Let me know. Any other pair. And we also, well, I also missed AJ too. Well, I'll talk about AJ. It was also a matter of discipline. Alright, so AJ, I believe J Traders bought that up at the end. So again, this had a potential setup given, and it was not taken, but it did work out in our way, in our favor. Again, it's just about discipline. So if you look at the idea I gave, this is, and this was, here you go. So 4 hour bullish closure, this was on May 5th, so 3 days ago. 4 hour bullish closure above 68,900 requirement for longs, right? So if you look at the chart, you can see 68,900. We get a 4 hour closure, but it's not a 4 hour closure we want, because the wick to the top is longer than the wick to the bottom, and we don't enter that. We usually want a wick longer at the bottom than the top. So a hammer like this would be a perfect candle closure to go long, or a candle like this one, a bullish hammer again. These two are perfect. This is perfect as well. Anything where the wick to the top and bottom are the same size, or the wick to the top is longer, we don't like those candles. So although this one was you don't. So what happens is after this candle prints, it's not ideal. You wait. The next one's an indecision candle. You don't enter. The next one is again similar to this one. You don't enter. And then the next few are just indecision candles, so you don't enter. So again, although the trade idea played out the way we thought it would, the candle closures are very important because oftentimes when you enter on candles like this, it will burn you instead of helping you. But it's just about discipline. So we technically didn't miss this trade. It's just a matter of discipline. Okay, a lot. All right, perfect. And the stream is smooth as butter. Perfect. Pound CAD. Long. This screams long to me actually. Yeah, this is a movie's past short idea. Yeah, it's telling me long right now. It's coming off some pretty good for our support here, and then some secondary for our support here. I'd probably go long. Not right now, so don't don't take my word for it. But just in general for next week, I'd probably go long. So we have this first for our support down here, which we wicked, and price came up to the secondary for our support we used at the end of April, and then we have again this kind of level which has provided support in the past in the earlier parts of April. Now this 4-hour candle, it has reacted to this level in particular for longs, right? So something like this would be ideal. So I wait for the 4-hour closure for GC to go long, but the 4-hour looks pretty good in terms of swing trade. And if I just give you a quick R2R. So today's daily candle is kind of the indecision candle. Hopefully by the end of the day, going to Sunday, it turns into a bullish candle or a bullish hammer. And you can have a long like this. Now this is a pretty amazing setup. Now we have discussed GA, which we have a long bias for. So having GC as a long bias is not surprising. And I'm pretty sure you can make your stop loss a bit better than that, but again, we're talking kind of like a swing trade. A lot of pips can be made, so and GA and GC can move a lot in a day. For example, this one day it covered almost 300 pips. So who knows? This swing trade could be done in 2 days. But ideally, I'd wait for a bullish closure above 1.73299 or just 1.73300. Let me put that level on the chart so you can see it. Use a call out. So for anyone watching the stream in a later date or later today, and you're wondering what level RP is calling, right? You need a 4-hour bullish closure, and you can take the swing long, right? That's it. So 1.73300 to the upside, and I would take profits every 25 to 30 pips, with these white numbers being key levels, this black and white number being key levels. So that's GC long bias. Did I jinx you guys? No, we're good. We're good. This is this is green in my end. Don't tell me it stopped. Hold on. You got me tweaking, Magnus. Hey, we're still up, bro. Oil. No, we're still up. Hey, man, don't do that, bro. Oh yeah, knock on wood. I think we should be good. All right, it's cool. So pound dollar. Let's give it a look. Pound dollar. We talked about it a bit already, but you can see the target we have in mind. Going to the 4-hour time frame. Volatility is crazy, but again, pound, they love hammers. Pound pairs love the hammers. All we had was a nice bullish hammer off support and a simple long idea. I think pound will eventually reach 1.25, 150, but there is but This blue line has been a pretty decent semi-support on the 4-hour time frame. A lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 occurrences in the past a few weeks where pound has used it as a resistance, and so that's why this level was marked off. And so price, reacting in and around that area, a bit bearish. So we may see the bull run end for pound here. It depends what happens by end of day going into Sunday, but let's see the fundamental forecast for next week. Sunday, NZD stuff, not really important. Monday, pretty quiet. Tuesday, USD CPI, NZD, and then premium GDP for the pound. Alright, so I don't think it's gonna be waiting for anything else until until like deep into next week. So I'd watch out. I'd probably wait for pound to get closer to this level. Let's see what happened on the 1 hour. Yeah, so on the 1 hour, I think this is just a momentarily retrace. I think the next 1 hour candle should be back to the upside, something like this. And at which point I'll be looking for rejections like this candle, like this candle, like this candle from this level to maybe take the intraday short. But I think Monday we'll have a better idea of what happens. Too much of a move has already happened to kind of give a bias for GU just yet. But GA, GCAD, we are bullish, so that may give you a hint of where the pounds are headed. Pound yen. So again, pound yen, we were patient. We wanted to short it. Entry criteria was not confirmed, so we didn't take it. So here's GJ. You can see our trading view alert is still active. We wanted to go short. We broke a pretty solid support on the daily time frame, 134.500 area. We never got a 4-hour closure below this kind of support we made, and so that's why we didn't go short. Since then, this thing has popped back above the support. As you can see in the past, we have many rallies from the support. You just squeeze it down. So again, a lot of rallies from this level, and that's what we're currently doing. A pretty decent sized rally, if you ask me, from the support. Again, so this is actually a pretty good spot to go long for GJ. If it wasn't a Friday, I'd probably do a live entry now or my entry later in the day. But you can see we've come into this consolidation zone we've used in the past. If you guys remember, we had a GJ long that played up perfectly from this zone. We just took a long from here to here and we made easy pips. And so we can take that same approach now that we have entered back into this range and target the top level. The 4-hour closure right now is not ideal, but over the span of the next 2 hours, it could change. And we could have a very nice long to back to maybe 133.160. So if I were you, or if you're just looking for ideas and see the 2 hours perfect. So again, we have a break of a support, and then the bearish hammer is retesting it, and the next candle would probably be a bullish candle to take us to the upside. So if it was the midweek, I would definitely give a long idea, but you could probably see this pan out by the end of the day or by Sunday, the latest. So a long to 133.150 is probably my bias for GJ. Hopefully it doesn't play out and we have Monday to enter, but I'm pretty sure it will be done with on Monday. Alright, we good now. USD CAD broke my heart. Aussie yen, it was there but not the entry criteria we wanted. Gold. Let's see how gold reacted to the NFP news. It slipped a bit, it came right back up. Gold, I still feel maybe a long. There is some resistance where we're at right now. We just identified with this resistance zone. We do have a resistance zone here. So going into next week, I think we should just look for either a break above this resistance zone on a 4-hour time frame. As you can see in the past, we haven't been able to close with a body above here, right? No bodies, just wicks. Just wicks above this level. If we do get a body closure above that level, we can take it higher to 1736, like we have done in the past multiple times. However, if price does come back down below 1708 and it closes below, so like this, price can come back down here, close bearish here, then we can have a short, right? We can take a short back down to this daily support at 1692. So that's the two ideas we have. Either we're going to target this range right here, right? Hope that makes sense. Or on the flip side, we'll target this range right here, headed to the top side, right? And so that's the idea. Right now it's pretty mixed, pretty consolidated. Doesn't really know what to do. But the NFP data was bullish, so it should technically help the dollar if this thing goes lower. And U.S. oil. So people are asking for U.S. oil. And I believe last time we talked, I said U.S. oil could go either way. And yeah, so I left this idea just to show, someone asked for U.S. oil, and I said I don't really enter trades when there's a 1-to-1 or R2R. So you can see it's 1.07, and so I wouldn't enter short from here. I would rather wait for price to come back to here. This pretty strong resistance at 20.80 per barrel. But you can see price actually went to the secondary 4-hour resistance and then sold off. So you can see that secondary 4-hour resistance here come into play. So for US oil, I think the bias is going to be short, especially with the beneficial dollar news. You can see even the daily time frame. This tells me a short. I just move this over. We don't even need this anymore. But you can see this was the main resistance I was talking about, 20.8 per barrel. And then this is the secondary one. We had a wick here, the secondary one at 27.58. My apologies. This is 28.8, and this is 27.55. So you can see this blue line, sell off here, sell off here, and then again we printed an inverted hammer off that level. So my bias going into next week for US oil is short. Now all we're going to do is identify some support that we need to break to get a good entry, and I think this is the perfect one at 23.93. You can see it right here. If I pop back to the 4-hour, you will see why it's a good support. So anytime we've come off these two resistances, price likes to float in around this level or use it as support like it has in the past. And so that's going to be our thought process. So if we do get a 4-hour bearish closure to make its way down below 23.93 like it has done here, we can take the short all the way back down, right? And so a lot of this depends, and the reason why I didn't really give a setup for this oil commodity is because a lot of it's based on fundamentals, right? What happens with COVID-19 if economies reopen? Obviously, if economies reopen, oil will shoot back up, right? That's simple. If COVID-19 gets worse or economies don't open up and it looks like it will take forever to open up, then you should see a sell-off like this happen again. So that's the thought process for oil. I mean, you can see the huge wick up here. It reached negative prices for a day, and within 18 hours, the world bailed out oil. Everyone stockpiled it up. U.S. filled its reserves, China filled its reserves, and this thing shot up again. So it's mainly fundamentally based right now, but technically, I think it's going to be a short if we breach 23.93 area on the 4-hour time frame. Perfect. So any lasting questions or recommendations, let me know. Yeah, oil seems capped at 27. GU buy, anyone take it earlier? Yeah, GU was a really good buy. Pretty simple entry. That 4-hour hammer was pretty much the sign that it was time to go up, top support. Alright, so at this point, I think everyone's recommendations are done with. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Okay, perfect. And we're great. So Monday we have another free session. Now for those that join on YouTube and you want to join the Discord and you haven't already, the link to sign up is in the description below. Also, we have the trading challenge if you're just joining in. If you want to get a free lifetime membership with Forex Lens, all you have to do is grow a demo account to a certain target. And if you grow a different demo account a second time, you will get a live funded trading account with real money. So if you want to know more about this, trading challenge, just head over to Discord. We have a really great support team that'll answer your questions. But this announcement right here pretty much sums it up nicely. And we have rules and guidelines on our website. So take advantage. It's free. Who knows? You might be able to get a lifetime membership or even a funded 25K account that is real money. So it's all there for the taking. And also Smart Effects, the MAM program, absolutely killing it. I mean, rarely do you see an account or a man program with 7%, 7 to 10% gains. Right now it's 7%, but it's to be advertised 6 to 10% a month with only 2.5% drawdown. That's actually crazy, unheard of, and that's what happens when you trade based on institutional concepts. You outplay the markets very easily. So we're accepting members now. So again, if you're interested in either trading challenge or the managed accounts, all you have to do is email support@forexlens.com and they'll take care of you. You can also message Allison, but I think the email is the ideal way to go. Also, if you want to join these live sessions and you want to get in on this and learn how to trade and not just become a trader that relies on signals and copying and pasting, I will give you a coupon code. And you will use this to get 50% off your first month. So all you have to do is use this coupon code FIRST50 and you go to forexlens.com. You go to Forex Trading Room, click Get Started. Fill out this quick little form, click Next, and then you'll see enter a coupon code. You enter FIRST50 and you'll finally learn how to trade. You'll finally, relieve your dependence on signal providers, on me giving you signal, and you'll learn how to trade on your own. From what I've shown in the trading room, the questions I answered on Discord throughout the day, it's probably the best place to be. So again, you're gonna get all the signals, other than mine as well, all the live sessions, full access to Discord for only $48.50. So why not take advantage? And so I think that's good for today. Any other lasting questions you have, ask them on Discord and I'll be sure to help. And that is that. So hope you guys have a great weekend. Decompress, go out for a bit, go for a jog, get some fresh air, because we have a great week coming next week, and let's get these pips. So peace, and hope you guys are safe.